Genesis 7 1-12. And the Lord said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark. For thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens, the male and his female, and of beasts that are not clean by two, the male and his female. Of fowls also of the air by sevens, the male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living substance that I have made will I destroy off the face of the earth. And Noah did according unto all that the Lord commanded him. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of waters was upon the earth. And Noah went in, and his sons and his wives and his sons' wives with him into the ark, because of the waters of the flood, of clean beasts and of beasts that are not clean, and of fowls and of everything that creepeth upon the earth. There went in 2 and 2 unto Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as God had commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened, and the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights.
In the selfsame day entered Noah, and Shem, and Ham, and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them, into the ark. They and every beast after his kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and every fowl after his kind, every bird of every sort. And they went in unto Noah into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. And they that went in male and female of all flesh, as God had commanded him. And the Lord shut him in. And the flood was 40 days upon the earth. And the waters increased, and bare up the ark, and it was lift up above the earth. And the waters prevailed, and were increased greatly upon the earth. And the ark went upon the face of the waters. And the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all the high hills that were under the whole heaven were covered. 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered, and all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl, and of cattle, and of beast, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man. All in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land died, and every living substance was destroyed which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping things, and the fowl of the heaven. And they were destroyed from the earth, and Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark. And the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days.
Okay, let's look at Genesis 7 verses 1. And the Lord said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. We can see that Noah and his family alone was righteous in God's eyes, so God helped him and provided a way for them. This is showing us that God always has a way of escape for us in times of temptation and trouble. Noah could have turned over and committed sin like the other people, but no, he stood and was righteous before God in his eyes. Verse 5. And Noah did according unto all that the Lord commanded him. We see another great act of obedience from Noah as he listened to God and his commands. Are you being obedient towards God and his commands? Verse 9. There went in 2 and 2 unto Noah into the ark, the male and female, as God had commanded Noah. We also see another great act of obedience from Noah, as he put all the animals that God commanded him to bring into the ark, which were female and male.
Another thing that we can see in this passage is that God had the power to make a worldwide flood. If we look in verse 17 to 18, and the flood was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased, and bare up the ark, and it was lift above the earth. And the waters prevailed, and were increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark went upon the face of the waters. So this is saying that the whole earth was covered in water. God had the power to do that. He is in control of the world, and he knows what is happening. We need to realize this. We need to realize how powerful God is, and that he is in control. That same power is in us if we are saved. So that should make us bold and trust him. He can control everything on this earth, so we should ultimately put our lives in His control and not worry about what the future will hold for us. The next thing that I want to talk about is that God is serious about His punishments on us. After giving all the people in the world many chances to believe in Him and get right with God, God had to follow through with what He said. They did not listen, and they kept disobeying and being sinful, that God had to kill them all with the flood. Let's look in verse 23. And every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle and the creeping things and the fowl of the heaven, and they were destroyed from the earth. And Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark. God has given us so many chances to be saved, just like He gave these people. I'm sure that if all of them had come to God, that He wouldn't have destroyed the world. We must believe on Him before it's too late for us.